My name is Anggita Dewayani, and in this occasion I will talk about morphology, the words of language. What are we gonna talk about? Our introduction, content words and function words, morphemes, rules of word formations, and the hierarchical structure of words. The first one is introduction. Each word is a sound meaning unit. Each word stored in a mental lexicon must be listed with its unique phonological representations, which determines its pronunciation and with the meaning. Each word in our mental lexicon includes other information as well, such as whether it is a noun, a pronoun, a verb, an adjective, an adverb, a preposition, or a conjunction. That is, the mental lexicon also specifies the grammatical category or syntactic class of the word. The second one, content words and function words. Content words. Noun, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs are the content words. These words denote concepts such as objects, actions, attributes, and ideas that we can think about like children, narcissism, soul, and purpose. In other words, content words give the most important information. Content words are sometimes called the open class words because we can add regularly to add new words to these classes, such as Bollywood, blog, this, and 24/7. Function words. Classes of classes of words that do not have clear lexical meanings or obvious concepts associated with them, including conjunctions, prepositions, articles, and pronouns, are called function words. They specify grammatical relations and have little or no semantic content. Function words are sometimes called closed class words. The third one is morphemes. The linguistic term for the most elemental unit of grammatical form is morpheme, the study of the internal structure of words and of the rules by which words are formed is morphology. This word itself consists of two morphemes, morph and ology. The suffix ology means science of or branch of knowledge concerning. Thus, the meaning of morphology is the science of words form. A morpheme can be represented by a single sound, such as the morpheme a meaning without, as in amoral and asexual, a single syllable, such as child and ish in childish, two syllables, such as camel, lady, and water, two syllables, such as hackensack and crocodile, and four or more syllables, such as hallucinate, apothecary, and onomatopoeia. The decomposition of words into morphemes illustrates one of the fundamental properties of human language is called discreteness. Discreteness is an important part of linguistic clarity. The next one is bound and free morphemes. A bound morphemes is a word element that cannot stand alone as a word, including both prefixes and suffixes. Free morphemes, by contrast, can stand alone as a word and cannot be broken down further into other word elements. The examples of free morphemes are boy, desire, gentle, and man, etc. There are three types of morphemes. The first one is prefixes and suffixes. Morphemes like ish, nes, li, pray, an are never words by themselves, but are always part of words. They called as bound morphemes. Thus, an and pray are prefixes, and the example of suffix morphemes are in, li, etc. Second one is infixes. Infixes are morphemes that are inserted into other morphemes. The infixes in English are full-word obscenities, usually inserted into adjectives or adverbs. For example, in America are freaking, flipping, etc., and in British is bloody. The third one is circumfixes. Circumfixes are morphemes that are attached to a base morpheme both initially and finally. These are sometimes called discontinuous morphemes. Roots and stems. Morphologically, complex words consist of a morpheme root and one or more affixes. A root may or may not stand alone as a word. Roots that cannot stand alone hold as bound roots. For example, words of Latin origin such as receive, conceive, perceive, and deceive share a common root, sieve, and the words remit, permit, commit, submit, transmit, and admit share the root mit. For the original Latin speakers, the morphemes corresponding to sieve and mit had clear meanings. But for modern English speakers, Latinate morphemes such as sieve and mit have no independent meanings. They acquire meaning only in combination with other morphemes. When a root morpheme is combined with an affix, it forms a stem. Other affixes can be added to a stem to form more complex stem. The fourth one is rules of word formations. The word uglification is not a common word in English. Still, most English speakers would immediately know the meaning of it, even if they had never heard or used it because they would know the meaning of its individual parts, the word ugly, and the affixes I, and cation. By using the morphological rules of English, we can create such a word. Derivation of morphology. Bond morphemes like I and caution are called derivational morphemes. When they are added to a base, new word with a new meaning is derivative. The form that results from the addition of a derivational morpheme is called a derivative word. Derivational morphemes have a clear semantic content. There are two classes of derivational affixes in one class. In the addition of a suffix triggers subtle change in pronunciation. The other class may be tacked onto a base word without affecting the pronunciation. The next one is inflectional morphology. Bond morphemes that have strictly grammatical function are called inflectional morphemes. Inflectional morphemes never change the grammatical category of the stem to which they are attached. Inflectional morphemes represent relationships between different parts of a sentence. This is the clear difference between the derivational and inflectional. The first one is derivational lexical function, meanwhile the inflectional grammatical function. The second one, derivational may cause word class change, meanwhile the inflectional no word class change. The third one is derivational some meaning change and the inflectional small or no meaning change. The fourth one, derivational never required by rules of grammars, the inflectional often required by rules of grammars. The fifth one, derivational precede inflectional morphemes in a word, the inflectional follow derivational morphemes in a word. The last one is derivationals, some productive, mainly non-productive, but the inflectional is productive. And then the fifth or the last one is the hierarchical structure of words. Tree diagrams. Morphemes are added in a fixed order. This order reflects the hierarchical structure of the word. A word is not a simple sequence of morphemes. It has an internal structure. In order to represent the hierarchical organization of words, linguists use tree diagrams. This is one of the examples of the tree diagrams. This tree represents the application of the morphological rules. The first one is noun plus affix that will create an adjective. The second one is noun plus adjective that will create an adjective too. Other morphological rules can be applied to the given structure are the first one, adjective plus all that can create an adjective, and the second one is adjective plus ly that can create an adverb. That's all presentation for me. Thank you.